Be able to kind of minimize a particular role because it affects both sides.
Yep. And now second phase of banning. Here's an odd choice. Tigreal, also a slowly climbing commodity that teams should now figure out, hey, he's really, really good. Again, Sacred Hammer into the implosion, just demolishes team fights. I'm wondering if Bren Esports really aims to choke out the tank position.
In many ways, Tigreal is not really the best hero to catch out people, but it forces people to use the dash, a flicker, once you get caught out in the range of that implosion.
It's like a reverse purify.
Yeah, because if you think about it, if the choke gets caught out in that circle, he'll be forced to use the Shunpo. If he uses the Shunpo, then that means it's easier to catch him.
That's right. It's definitely a very important point to point out. And hitting it towards the next phase of the bans, we're seeing the Farsa ban, of course, something that we do see from time to time. And about the Tigreal, we do have some incredible win rates coming in, but Kaja is definitely something that we don't always see being banned away.
All right. Bren Esports did this in the playoffs, in the group stage, now in the playoffs. They don't want to see the same thing, right? They did this in the group stage wherein they fielded a Matilda and a Kaja. It's a greedy lineup, but if you do it fast enough, it works. They don't want that being done. They don't want to taste of their own medicine.
Oh boy. I mean, Bren, they're going to be locking in the Boxia for themselves. The Toys Poison's going to be a great ability, especially when you're up against, and I'm pretty sure that he could go into the side lane to actually deal with the Yuzong itself. It's just an absolutely super annoying matchup to deal with, but Burmese Ghouls, they're probably going to finish off their comp with most likely going to be leaning maybe towards something a little bit more tanky, so my guess would probably arguably might even be the Atlas to a certain extent.
And this Baksha is gonna go to Flap. Pretty sure about it.
Yep.
He's going to be controlling the lanes. They're gonna put all the damage responsibility solely to Claude. I mean, Lapu can do that as well, but you're gonna expect it to come from Few and Karltizi. It all depends on what hero Few gets.
Yeah, and now in response to that situation, they are bringing in the Lunox as well as Hilda. So let's talk about the Hilda pick right here, because we've seen a lot of beefiness coming in from the side of Bren Esports as well. Having great versatility, and now Fuel is going to go in for the last pick to complete the entirety of this lineup.
Yep, there you go. El Capitan goes ahead and picks up the Valier, able to push away the Yuzhong, able to push away the Hilda as well. And I'm getting what the Burmese Ghouls are trying to do, right? They're trying to give Karltizi a very, very hard early game. This Hilda is going to be on Karltizi by minute 0 if he could have his way, right? But I think that it's an I know you know type of situation. So right now it might even be a full-on invade by Kid and Ruby DD. Who knows?
I think we should honestly expect Burmese Ghouls to start invading almost from level 1 off the bat against Bren Esports here, and I think that orange buff is going to be highly contested by both teams, and I think, you know, the Valier is the adaptation to say, hey, if I get the Searing Torrents, I have an opportunity to push you away just enough so that my team is able to take away the buff with a single Retribution without having to really contest it and put myself in that kind of danger.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it right now. This is going to be very interesting. Burmese Ghouls go for their best comfortable strategy. Bren Esports, teams have been noticing that if they go for a marksman jungle, they have a hard time. But right now, they're trying to prove us wrong.
Going in towards the Land of Dawn, this is the very first game in the upper brackets, and it will be Burmese Ghouls taking on Bren Esports in Game 1.
Bren Esports, they are just going for this certain setup onto the mid lane. They actually go for the 1-3-1, and they try to poke as much as possible. And looking at it, BG, they won't really back down.
I don't think they will, and again, it's going to be a contestant for mid lane. Level 2 is always going to be, you know, a little bit nicer when you go for these invades, but just keep your eyes on the directions of the buffs here.
I think this is a purple start for Bren Esports' it's Karltizi, and this might not be, how do I say, the best position for Bren Esports, because it's actually Flaptizi on the Baksha jumping in.
And they actually punish this. Look at that two-man Jit Kundo, and they are forced out. Bren Esports, they hold the line. Carl here getting a free purple buff.
Now, why did I say that it's not so good for Flapteasy? He loses the range game here. Yes, you're a Baksha. Yes, you have your 2 to help out and close the gap and clear waves. But what's going to happen is you're going to keep trying to freeze the wave and put it underneath your turret. Sure, there is this 10% damage reduction. But at some point, if you have rotations coming in from Ace like this and as well from Maybe, then... Actually, now come to think of it, it might be a bait because Flapteasy can just roll out of here unless they rain enough damage on him, and that's exactly what they're doing here. I think this is what Flapteasy wants.
I mean, this is all coordinated by Bren. They wanted to make sure, yeah, Baxia can hit level 2 down on the bot side so he can rotate down, rotate towards the purple buff. And now that, by now, in the EXP lane, level 4 on the Lapu Lapu, if they decide to go and invade for orange, we have an even stronger force up on towards the top side in comparison to D.
Oh.
And they actually catch out Carl, but there is the trade that is going to be favoring the side of Burmese Ghouls. Rebo here forced out of his lane. He tried to help, but he wasn't there in time.
Oh boy, I mean, first blood already given over, but it could be more.
Right now, Lusty just trying to size up his man. And as we've said, the first turtle is going to be important for this game. Burmese Ghouls, they take it. The question is, how much can they push this lead?
I love the counterplay between Burmese Ghouls' heavy invade and then neutralized by how Flapteasy was kind of baiting the lower part of the map. And right now, it's Rebo who has to answer to Maybe and the laning Yuzhong on D. Now, the question is how far can Burmese Ghouls take this advantage? It'll really come down to how much they bear down on Karlteasy. And Karlteasy, again, I think this is the right thing to do for him. Stick to the buff, stick to farming, and then wait for the perfect time to actually come out. And yeah, just do this, blazing the waves away, and then just rotate back into the orange, back into the purple, take your camps, and then slowly but surely, maybe in the mid game, find your power spike after your second or even your first core item. I don't know.
Maybe he's here. Maybe he's here. He's trying to get Carl. Carl, will he back down? No, he won't push back to the turret. Not to the reach. But there is going to be a punish and a step in the right direction for Bren Esports if they want to stop the aggression coming out for Burmese Ghouls.
I mean, you hate to see it, but D, he's going to try even more here.
And he tries to go for few, but Carl will be his next target, and he really tried to go for that. Really tried to get the extra HP that comes out from killing that buff. And that is going to be another kill for the side of Burmese Ghouls.
Salt in the wound. You take down Carl. You get his allies as well. That was what? A 2-for-1 plus the orange. And Kid is just overstaying his welcome. They're starting to cut the lanes now. Looking low, this Matilda. Nice knockup though. Lusty is going to be in trouble. Oh, he flickers out, wastes it, get destroyed by D. And Flapteasy's left alone here. It's not looking good for Bren Esports.
Flapteasy trying to defend this. Few, on the other hand, is helping him, but they will take the first turret of the game. Bren Esports here, they are falling to the pressure that is being given by the side of Burmese Ghouls. Turtle cam now up, and Turtle is up.
Yep, I mean, what are they going to do in this point of time? It's just been a back and forth, though. I do question that Karlteasy. What the heck were you trying to do there? You knew he had the execute, kind of like, you were kind of gambling there, and I don't think moves like that is going to be beneficial in the long term, but let's see how that is going to change.
Maybe getting caught out, he gets stunned. Flap really just trying to help. And as you can see, Bren Esports, they're putting a lot of their resources, putting a lot of help into just Karlteasy just getting that buff. They really needed that for their side, and they're trying to make ends meet. At the end of the day, Burmese Ghouls, they still have the lead.
It's come to the point where it's just one tank you're trying to block the way, make space for Karlteasy. It's actually two. That's Flapteasy and Lusty, and right now it looks like they're going for the turtle, and they're just buying time now. Flapteasy at half health. Oh! Lusty gets blown up!
Lusty can't find that break. D going for Few. Few has the flicker, and another turtle going to the side of the Burmese Ghouls. They really know the early game, and they're punishing Bren Esports for picking a mid-game spike hero.
Oh man, they're just running them down one by one, and Bren, now that he's got to try to do something about
And
this.
another kill! Burmese Ghouls! They just go at it! They're not letting Bren Esports breathe!
Honestly, does anybody remember what KZP said about this? Because when they said Burmese Ghouls are great at first turtle, and if they can snowball off of this, they're kind of getting those vibes here right now.
And looking at it, Carl just got his Raptor Machete 6 minutes in. That is how annoyed, that is how delayed Carl is in terms of the items.
And all it took was maybe here after picking up the blade armor, he can afford to do this. And even if he dies, I think that's worth it overall. You do have a Mount Shocker to buy some time. And right now, that's going to be Kid jumping in. Maybe once more.
And maybe he's not backing down. Even if you have the Valor, even if you have the Baksha, they are not gonna stop annoying Carl Tizzy because this is the strategy that they went for. Maybe here is the next target. Blazing Duet will get thrown out. He doesn't have the spell. He doesn't have the skill to get over that wall. But right now, Burmese Ghouls, they're just clobbering at Bren Esports. Rebo here trying to get away. He uses Flicker. Lusty can't find the opening and can't find the perfect way of the dragon so that they can stop Burmese Ghouls from just entering their jungle.
What is happening here? Burmese Ghouls just choosing the right place at the right time to fight. They are just pincering Bren Esports almost every single fight.
What this feels like is a death by 1,000 cuts.
Ooh.
I know that we're at 7 minutes in, and slowly but surely, Burmese Ghouls, they're choking out Bren Esports. Now we're looking for that mid-game spike, right? We're looking for Carl Tizzy to actually build more than just his Raptor Machete. We're looking for him to pop that Blazing Duet into 2 or 3 softies and then just call it a day, snowball into maybe a wipeout. But they're just not finding that window. It seems like Bren Esports, it's like their inner clock, their timing is also pretty off.
And maybe here giving information to the side of Burmese Ghouls that they are taking the Lord. D will try to go for the enemy team here, and that is going to be Few in the middle of everything. Flap Dizzy trying to control the fight. There's the Mountain Shocker hitting multiple people here, and Kid just going in with the Matilda, and they get punished once again.
4 for 1. 4 for 1. Like, come on. Bren needs to find some way to kind of even up this score somehow, some way, and at some times, because it looks like it's just, this game is slipping out of their hands.
What I tell you guys before the game even started, if there was something great to come from Burmese Ghouls, if they were to upset the entire MLBB audience that predicted that Bren Esports would take this easy. What were the numbers? 15, 20 to 80? That was ridiculous. It's going to come from Maybe, it's going to come from Ace, and it's going to come from Kid. And lo and behold, 307 on this young man on the Yusen Shin.
Look at the gold on Lusty right now, 2.6k. Hilda has 3.7. He doesn't have enough items to just tank up the shots that are coming here from the side of Burmese Ghouls. He has a lot to think about. He has the Matilda, he has the Lunox, and he even has a Hilda that's at 6 stacks. That's going to hurt.
It really does, and not to mention that Few as well. Like, he's been struggling to get ahead. He really needs like at least one to two complete items to really start being able to push them back. And I think more importantly so is that D has a very good idea. He sees Few, he's going to target whoever Few is going to be nearest to, because at the end of the day, that Black Dragon form doesn't get affected by the searing torrents.
There's only so much push you can do against a big black dragon. Actually, with this skin, it's silver. But slowly but surely, Burmese Ghouls taking control of the map. There is no more outer turrets for the Bren Esports side of things. And yeah, this is a slow choke. First Lord coming up here, and there's a very small chance for contestation.
Lord Cam shows that the Lord is now up, and Bren Esports, they are forced to stay in base. Technically, Carl Tizzy right now is just getting the scraps that are reaching their base. The Lord is going to be the next target here for the side of Burmese Ghouls. They're setting it up right now. Maybe just stack it up. Ruby DD, and maybe they're going in. Flicker. He really just wanted to go for the way of the dragon, but right now Carl Tizzy going in with a Blazing Duet. And look at the damage output. Order of Brilliance is there. Yuzhong with the monster kill. They get caught out. Flap, he's not as tanky as you think. Burmese Ghouls, they're just controlling this game.
Yeah, I definitely think Bren underestimated how much damage that that Ruby DD had in the bank. I mean, he's 1-0-7. Doesn't look like a big deal, but my goodness.
They're just trying to clear the waves. Do not let Burmese Ghouls just take your turrets as much as possible. Just hold the lanes. Now, Burmese Ghouls, they're not really going for the Lord as of now. They might just want to wait until they get the 12-minute mark so that they get the Luminous Lord, but that doesn't seem to be the case because right now they're just going for it.
No time to waste here. Again, once you get Lord the first time around, your siege minions get enhanced. So if you're choking your opponent out, if you're taking the time to wrap around them, choke out their resources, take everything away you can from Kaltizi. Hey, even the small camp right here, he's not cutting any corners, he's just taking everything he can, then all the more you should go for level 1 Lord. Don't waste any time.
Yeah, I mean, look at this lead. This is the biggest lead we've ever seen here at M2. It is a 13K goal deficit for Bren. There's literally nothing they can do at this point. Every single fight, Burmese Ghouls will have full control.
Ace just needs one more item for the item lock, and here's the siege. Black Dragon form is there. Bren, they know that they have to give this up. Mountain Shocker spots out every single one of them. Flap gets caught out outside the base. He uses that roll to just get out of the way, and all lanes here are pushing to the side of Burmese Ghouls. The Lord might be down, but it did its job. It took down the inhibitor turret here for the side of Bren Esports.
And relatively no cost too. No lives, nothing. Like,
no trades.
They choked in Bren Esports, they kept them in, cordoned them off in their own
Oh!
from behind, not even a chance for Kaltizi. The pop, the blazing duet, and they are looking for the finish. Ladies and gentlemen, the Burmese Ghouls are not wasting any time.
No,
Rebo is the last man standing. Burmese Ghouls take a 12-minute game versus Bren Esports. Burmese Ghouls at match point.
Wow. Wow, that has to be one of the fastest games, the biggest deficits we have ever seen, and one of the biggest flags. Whoever sees a Lunox one-shot their opponent with brilliance.
And yes, indeed, we've never ever seen that before. One of the biggest highlights here is just how they've been able to secure this high goal lead in such a short time. And the Myanmar side has drawn first blood. We got a lot to talk about to break down the entirety of this matcher. And now, Bren Esports